Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our exclusive interview, AI Readiness in Kazakhstan, Insights from KPMG's groundbreaking research. It's great to be here, and I would like to introduce you to two experts from KPMG, Konstantin Aushev, partner, head of technology, and Jafar Penot, manager, data and AI. It's great to see you guys. Last time we met, it was in November during BritCham and KPMG AI and Business event. And back then we had very important discussion about the lack of AI adoption data in Kazakhstan. And actually, I'm truly impressed on how fast your firm and your team reacted to this need. Now we have the complete market research report, which I think will be very valuable and beneficial to many groups, starting from the investors to CEOs, from shareholders and boards to policymakers. And today we'll cover the key findings and see how all the groups can use them efficiently. So let's dive in. Welcome, everyone. And I would like to start by discussing with Konstantin very important things for investors and shareholders who are always concerned about the investments into AI. And how does Kazakhstan's AI adoption compare globally in terms of return on investments?
Hi, Dana. Hello, everyone. It's really a pleasure for us as well to see you here again and to discuss such an important topic about AI. It's all about Jafar, about his passion, his efforts, why we managed to issue this research in such a shortened timeline. And actually, we received a very good responsiveness of the respondents from different market sectors. So it was really interesting for us as well to conduct this research and to find some insights, some new thoughts from the respondents. And I'm glad that we are starting this discussion with the ROI, because of course there are a lot of hype, a lot of stuff, a lot of rumors about AI, but eventually what the majority of investors, of stakeholders are concerned about is of course the return of investments. And here one should understand that all the topics around AI are so big, so bold, they require so much investments that these figures about the general investments are actually not so big, especially in the shortened timeline, the shortened horizon. So when we discuss this topic globally, the average return of an investment from artificial intelligence tools, projects, was just about 6%. And actually, this is not impressive figure for many investors. From some venture funds, they raise much bigger sums. Even sometimes deposits, banking deposits may offer higher returns in some countries. But this doesn't mean that we should stop the investments in AI, of course, because in some particular cases, there are certain projects that resulted in much bigger returns, including direct gain, such as increased revenue or decreased losses, or some kind of operational effectiveness, risk management stuff, etc. And so here we should clearly prioritize our investments. And if we now see what is happening here in Kazakhstan, here we see that the picture overall is pretty the same, maybe a little bit less optimistic. We see that just 56% of our respondents, they say that they expect such a good return of investments, let's say 10% and more, around 14%, only 56%.
Great. And how do you think, what affects ROI as much? Is it the project management overall, the governance? Because technologies, they can be the same everywhere, at who manages and how they are governed.
Yes, sure. There are actually there are a lot of enablers, how we usually call them, that may impact the success of investments. And all the things you mentioned, they all matter. The infrastructure, the readiness of the people, their selection of cases, the good level of preparation for AI projects, everything matters. And you see what is the funny thing? I think that especially in the area of AI, we see that more one invests, more this company will benefit from AI. Actually, this is the case for many technologies, but for AI, we see it very, very brightly. Here we see that the companies that agreed to invest at least 10% of their IT budget, 75% of such companies, they are satisfied with AI, and they get this returns of investments. While who invested less than 10%, only 20% of these companies are pretty satisfied with the results. And here the problem for Kazakhstan is that we saw that only 5% of our respondents were ready to invest more from 10 on to 20 or even more percent of their IT budgets. Only 5%. So this is a very small share of the companies.
Absolutely. And I remember during that November event we discussed that globally this number for budgeting for AI projects will increase. True?
Yeah, I think it will increase. Yes.
What risks and rewards do early AI adopters face in Kazakhstan?
Yeah, quite a lot of. Frankly speaking, yeah. So, well, the first risk, first area of risks is concerned to such infrastructural issues, challenges, I would say, because of course AI requires significant investments to infrastructure, to IT infrastructure, to different tools, to CPU or even GPU, graphics processing units. And all this stuff, it's actually very expensive. And second, it's sometimes even if the company has money, it can be a problem to purchase this software because of different requirements from the vendors, because of challenges in terms of supply chain, etc. So then a company may decide to go to cloud and to rent needed infrastructure capabilities there. But here again, there are some doubts in terms of regulation, in terms of data privacy, and we are slightly moving to this area, to risks around data protection, data privacy, some ethical aspects, and of course, people readiness to embrace this technology, to embrace this innovation. So actually a lot of risks. And in terms of benefits, well, I think here we can divide the benefits into two groups. The first one is their intermediate benefits that we can get easily here and now, such as quick insights from the data, like every one of us gets from ChatGPT, for example, or DeepSeek, or whatever. We can easily process the big amount of data and get insights very quickly. And here we can also find new clients. We can improve our operational process, achieve new targets in terms of operational effectiveness. So this is the one story. And the second story is more about long-term benefits, because again, what our respondents highlighted is that the challenge for their organizations is in the people. Because people do not have proper skill sets. People can be not ready to embrace this technology because of lack of time, because of lack of willingness, etc. And so when you're starting to invest here and starting doing these projects step by step, you're increasing the maturity level, and you eventually you will certainly find the solutions in the proper cases. Here what we are probably currently getting the most of requests from our clients yet is to conduct the workshops and trainings for their staff, how to use and how to embrace this AI technologies, how to find new cases for
That's great.
Yeah,
That's absolutely great and highly demanded.
yes.
Globally, I would say.
Yeah, globally it's even more.
Jafar, I would like to ask, which industries are gaining the most from AI, according to your report?
So there are actually a few industries that are kind of ahead in the AI implementation and adoption. Like we've seen that the finance, fintech, retail, especially e-commerce, those kind of industries are a bit ahead. It's mostly because those industries they had already a lot of data analytics, like automated process, so it's kind of easy for them to move to AI, kind of. And also because, for example, banks, they're very concerned about cybersecurity, right? This is a very big threat for them. So they have a really crucial need to implement those kind of sophisticated solution to put those guardrails against those threats. We've seen, to give a few numbers in the report. This is not in the report actually, but when we check the data from the survey, 60% of the respondents in the finance sector and something like 35% for the e-commerce, they already have reported major improvements in from the AI initiatives, while other industries, it's at most 20%, if not less.
Yes, and actually, I just remembered that there are lots of cases when AI is helping to prevent fraud in the financial sector.
Indeed, there are a lot of solutions. AI is it's used for fraud, but a lot of solutions also are used against fraud, right? For sure, definitely.
Great. Are there any government incentives or regulations that could actually impact investment returns?
Yeah. Well, in our report, we highlighted that government authorities, agencies, they're really trying to boost AI adoption, and this actually results in some good progresses in terms of international rankings, where Kazakhstan raised for certain positions here, and here, the good point is that the government is not thinking just about incentives, about certain projects, investment into the AI area, but also in the area of governing AI. Yeah, and here we as KPMG, we were involved in discussions of this drafted law on AI. Here the final version of this law is not finalized, has not been finalized yet. But the overall principle is that the government is not willing to put strict barriers to use AI for certain cases, for certain specific cases here, like
autonomous AI. Yes, there is a new law that is going to be it was presented to the Majlis to ban fully autonomous AI.
Yeah, but overall the concept is that to allow certain experiments, and then in terms of the evolution of this AI adoption in Kazakhstan, in terms of in course of new technologies are appearing, yet this law is going to be amended.
Okay, now I would like to talk about the boards of directors who are actually guiding strategy, ethics, and long-term decisions. So what ethical or governance issues should boards be aware of?
In our report again, 30% of our surveyors, they highlighted that they're quite aware of risks about misuse of AI technologies. So here, I think all of us hear about this cases and watch this short movies, reels, how the AI can mimicate, can some voices, faces, etc., style of writing, handwriting, etc., etc. So the misuse of AI for such kind of things is the number one concern for many organizations. And the second thing that many people are talking about is about data privacy overall, because of course AI should educate on data, on and what kind of data is used, what kind of private data is used for this educational activities is sometimes unclear. This is another point, the data privacy and ethical aspects of this data usage. Surprisingly, we saw that even in Kazakhstan, just 13% are worried about some job cutoff due to AI. It's not so big concern. So many people, many surveyors, many organizations, they expect that vice versa. They will need more staff, more headcount, and to increase the headcount to adopt these technologies, at least during the recent and midterm years.
Okay, how can boards make sure AI aligns with the company values and goals?
This is probably our favorite question, because it's still what we still see on the market is that many organizations, especially in some middle companies, small medium enterprises, and even some big national companies, they are still doing just some proof of concept, some pilot projects, trying to get this quick wins from the AI. And here, of course, it's with such a strategy, in the most cases, their outcome is that such organizations, they are disappointed with AI, and they then are saying that, well, we have played with AI, and we have stopped, because we see that there is no value from AI. So to guarantee this result, one should really start with overall AI strategy, should adopt this framework for designing the AI strategy, to how to prioritize the cases, how to select them, how to tailor the technologies in these cases for particular organizational needs and objectives, how to educate people, raise the awareness about the AI, how to deal with this all the stuff around ethical aspects and the data privacy during the usage of AI. So a lot of concepts, a lot of topics that we have embraced in our AI strategy framework. The things are changing, frankly speaking. Now we receive their RFP from our clients. We are discussing actually with several board of directors, shareholders, top managers, their plans to design such a comprehensive AI strategy. And actually, not only on financial sector, what's good, also in telco sector, in educational and higher educational sector as well. We see this interest on top managers for designing and the comprehensive AI strategy.
Absolutely. I think it's a great approach to have strategic view of AI adoption, because it will, of course, include everything, including risks, KPIs, and many, many important things in one. And everybody will be on the same page. It's critical, of course. And the ROIs will be higher.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so now I would like to turn to Jafar and actually talk about the most successful AI use cases in Kazakhstan. If you could share with us.
Sure. So, Konstantin mentioned that there are a few industries that are a bit ahead, right, in AI. And it actually goes same with business functions, right? Because several business functions are it would be easier for them to integrate AI in their workflow. For example, customer service, right? We've been using chatbots in customer service for a long time already, but now with these new technologies like these LLMs, it's easier for them to integrate. So there are several business functions like customer service and data analytics for the banks again. So those kind of business functions are a bit ahead, like the industries. But of course, we also need to understand what does it mean to be successful, right?
You're right. So I would like to talk about generative AI. It's trending globally, as we see, and but I have a feeling that not everyone understands the meaning of generative AI, because actually it can be used in various cases.
Yes.
So how to explain what is generative AI to your clients?
So what is generative AI? First thing, maybe before starting, in the survey we saw that all respondents are like they expect a lot from AI and especially from generative AI. They expect all industries, all respondents expect from generative AI, and then they expect it to be beneficial in all business functions. So this is one thing. Yes. But what is generative AI? We could define it in many ways, but maybe to answer this question, we could say like there are those easy solutions or like mainstream solutions like ChatGPT or all those models to generate the image, videos, etc. And Konstantin mentioned that we can gain quick wins with those solutions.
For marketing.
Exactly, for marketing, for whatever. But then we have a lot of solutions that imply generative AI, which are much more sophisticated solutions. Like now we have a lot of, and globally we have a lot of clients. We have built some very sophisticated solutions with AI agents, for example, very sophisticated workflows with AI agents. But for this kind of big scale solutions, we need a lot of different people for this. We need data engineer, we need data scientists, we need a lot of different functions to implement this kind of big solutions. We need data governance, very important, right? Because AI agents, they are very good at automating some workflow, some part of the workflow, but the core job usually it's actually done by some maybe classical machine learning or what. So here we see that generative AI it's great and we can build great solutions, but we always need to come back to the basis. Even for those solutions, we need proper data, proper infrastructure. And this is something we've seen in the report, and we see a lot with clients. A lot of clients, they think of generative AI as Superman, like it will solve all problems. We built an agent, it will solve. It's actually not like this. So we need to come back to the basis and have again this strategic approach.
And actually, absolutely. And actually, I also would like to add that during our last meeting, I really liked when you showed the very complicated generative AI platforms that you created globally and locally. And you're absolutely right that it requires professional governance, all right? Data, very clean and good data, infrastructure, and lots of things about risks handling, cybersecurity, and so on. So I think your firm is doing a great job globally and locally about generative AI usage for industrial sectors, oil and gas, mining, and others, and banks as well. Absolutely. Okay, true. What are some common CEO myths you face when you're talking to CEOs? What misconceptions do they have about AI?
The first is what I call let's start small and see mindset. So this is also something we've discussed. A lot of CEOs, they want to start with small proof of concept somewhere to test and to see. But the lack of this strategical approach again, right? And they also have in mind that building an AI strategy is too expensive. So they start with this small proof of concept. And as Konstantin said, maybe they will be disappointed and they will stop. or after a few months, maybe they will start again with another proof of concept, and it will fail again. And at the end, it will be more expensive. If they start planning properly at the beginning, planning to have this proper top-down approach, then on the long term, it will be more cost-effective, actually.
Absolutely. And I think time is the most precious indicator for ROI, for the long-term ROI time. In order for them to stay competitive, in 1 year, you can either do 1 or 2 pilots, or you can cover like so many things and boost your sales and your ROI.
Yeah. Time, and also I will also another thing which drives the market part of time is what we call fear of missing out. Another report that many organizations, many even CEOs are saying that we are investing in AI and we are adopting certain technologies, certain ready-to-use tools because our competitors did the same. But sometimes it's also a myth, and after months or 3 months of experimenting, this CEO say, well, we are very disappointed with AI and we stopped our investment, and this is also the myth.
It's absolutely true, and the funny thing is that this concept of CEOs copying their competitors, it never changes.
Right.
It's funny because each company has their own strategy, and you cannot just copy.
Sure, yeah.
Somebody's
And
ways. And
this is why starting this strategy often is cheaper than experimenting with pilots.
Yes. What do you think? What barriers are slowing AI adoption?
The barriers that are slowing AI adoptions, I think we've mentioned several of them already. The data readiness, like you need to have proper access to proper data and the infrastructure in general. This lack of understanding from top managers, CEOs, to be able to get to the strategy, need to understand the link between the strategy and the ROI. This is what we've just discussed, right? So, and we can see this clearly in the report, right? One of the most, the first barrier that was actually cited by the respondents was the struggle to identify the proper use cases. And this is typical of those companies that come without structural approach. They don't know where to apply AI because they don't have this clear goal, where we want to go, the clear vision, AI vision that they need, and the clear target, they don't have this. So those are the principal barriers out there.
But actually, all these barriers can be addressed, not easily, but they can, One cannot choose the cases, let's define this strategy, this vision, this goal, this metrics, Well, we cannot find the infrastructure, we can consider where we can go to the clouds, to some cloud solutions. We have problems with data, let's audit the data quality and try to invest in the improvement of the data, We are afraid of certain data privacy risks, and ethical concerns. We can design the governance mechanisms for usage of AI. So every barrier is actually addressed.
And to summarize, actually, I think that there should be a proper professional guidance on every step of AI adoption.
Yes. And this is why we have our AI strategy framework to guide clients. And it's a very practical way to go through all those steps, right? As Kostya has said, what are the first to set up the vision? What are the goal, the target, and then to list all those use cases where we can apply, because most of clients cannot see where they can apply. From those goals, to list those use cases, then to prioritize them, to see which ones are easily doable, which one are a bit more difficult to prioritize, and then to set up this clear roadmap, how to start with the timeline, etc. So this is all our steps listed in our framework to guide those.
Yes, and definitely ChatGPT cannot do it.
Indeed, it can.
Okay, do it. So AI actually is uniting everyone, including policymakers and decision makers. Now I would like to switch into this topic and to ask you about what policies and regulations could help speed up AI use in Kazakhstan.
So indeed, it's very important to have a AI governance very early. And this is, as Konstantin said previously, a lot of clients are very much concerned about data privacy, about misuse, etc. We do have as well a framework specially dedicated to the AI governance. We call this trusted AI. So it's based on 10 pillars: fairness, explainability, accountability, data integrity. So we have 10 pillars like this. And for each pillars, we have several categories where we list all the risks, the potential risks. And for each risks, we have some controls, how to control those risks. For example, fairness, what we understand with fairness. Some AI, and especially generative AI solutions, they can be biased, right? We have heard several cases like this where some solution, they can be biased against some ethnic groups. So we set up a lot of tests with a broad range of participants from different ethnic groups, sex, etc., to test the model. So we have all those pillars and we list all the risks with several categories and put controls for each of them.
That's great. Okay, and one other important question about jobs. How can we make sure that AI doesn't eliminate jobs with all of this AI agents hype? And
we've seen that most companies are actually not really afraid of this, right? But indeed, it can be, and still some are, or something like 13% are still concerned about this, and it can be. So we've seen also that there is a real need of upskilling. So when we upskill our people, when companies upskill their people, it's very important to think how to do this and to think how to incorporate AI into the workflow, into their workflow, in order to help people, not to eliminate them.
yes, and actually it's a new trend to teach us to work better with new technologies.
Yes.
And it's great that you mentioned that you have very nice trainings for top managers and middle managers.
Yeah.
We do have trainings,
Various technologies, right?
Yeah, we do them, yeah.
For all staff, but also for CEOs, yes, top managers. Very important to start with top managers, right? Because they will later train their people. So we do have several trainings. We're actually now participating in this COSMET training from the ministry. Tomorrow we'll be there covering one module. So it's for all government workers working in ZON. So
is it like not just a training? So it's like not just a training, but also like a AI strategic session, something like this?
It's mostly training on, like, train people how to use all those tools in their daily work. And we present several solutions. And again, how to help them be more efficient and not to replace them, right?
Yes, and it's probably according to the new AI strategy.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Definitely.
That was my point.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to ask Konstantin, how does AI support Kazakhstan's digital economy and global position?
Well, first of all, when it's not from KPMG, but at the beginning, I mentioned that average return of investments to AI is not so big, but nevertheless, many bankers, investment bankers, research institutes, universities, they still that the overall impact of AI on economies is still positive. Yeah, it eventually it will result in GDP growth. There are different estimates on how big, depending on the country, depending on their economical circumstances, etc. But overall, from 10 to 20%, the GDP growth is forecasted from all this AI agenda. Actually, the same in Kazakhstan. Yeah, we see that number of startups, number of teams are now experimenting with AI. Of course, they are creating new jobs. They are attracting new investments both within the country and from abroad. So overall, it's for sure it impacts only positively our economy. And all this fears around the job cut. Of course, some jobs will be eliminated. Yeah, will be changed, replaced by bots, etc. But at the same time, the number of jobs being created should be more.
And there is also an option to become a startupper.
Yes. Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
About this topic, I would like to ask you some questions for startuppers, because as you know, our government and our president, Mr. Tokayev, he's personally supporting startups, and and our government's one of the goals is to provide all necessary infrastructure for upskilling, for startups creations, for raising unicorns and exporting them to the rest of the world. So from your report, which industries are the most promising for AI startuppers?
Well, so I would say again, that there are no industries that cannot benefit from the AI. Yeah, and in each industry, one may find some cases, some goals that should be solved by AI technologies. Yeah. If this, for example, a manufacturing and industrial company, there are certain cases in there of maintenance, predictive maintenance, repairs, safety, and so on and so on. Yeah. But of course, in the area of B2C, these effects from AI, they can be felt easier in a shortened time period. Yeah, so in general, it's easier to find applicability for AI startups in financial sector, in retail, in e-commerce, in telco. But at the same time, the level of competence there is also bigger than in industrial sector. So actually, all the sectors.
I guess that's why various people with various backgrounds could unite us and create something meaningful.
Yes, usually new interesting products, they appear in the intersection of solutions for different sectors.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are the main challenges for AI startuppers right now that you see in Kazakhstan, and how they can overcome them?
We've seen that there are several challenges in Kazakhstan in general, and for startups, they're about same, like talent. It's difficult for them to find the right talents, right? So need to have a very good hiring strategy here. Limited access to data. This is also something that was really that came out from the report as well. To have access to develop and to implement AI solution, we need good access to data, right? And of course, the lack of strategical approach from all the big companies is also a challenge, because they go to see startups. Okay, they want to implement AI, they don't know where, they don't know how. So this is also one of the key barriers for those startups. When the clients, they come to us, but they don't have a clear idea of where and how to implement AI.
Absolutely. So how do you think, how can startups and big firms, big companies can work together to grow?
Well, in many ways, actually, yeah. Sometimes, of course, it's the matter of doing some pilot projects, MVP. Sometimes it's participations in different accelerating programs, hackathons, yeah. And but anyway, eventually, it's all about building networks, about frequent communications, yeah. And here, of course, startups should cooperate on day-to-day basis with all big companies, yeah, including, and for example, for consulting companies like KPMG, we are certainly interested in getting more about getting on more about the startups, about the solutions they can offer, yeah, because of course it help us to tailor better the strategies for each particular client, each particular company. Yeah, because sometimes, as Jafar mentioned, companies do not know what to ask from the startups, from the market, and startups don't know what problems they can solve. Yeah, and here our role is to link them. Yeah.
Great role. I think it will be very, very helpful. And you're absolutely right that sometimes there is no specific dialogue.
Yes. Yeah.
Because startups too young, they don't know how to talk to very, very big firms. Well, I'm grateful for your terrific insights, and I would like to thank our viewers for joining us today. We would like to wish you success in your AI strategies adoption, in your AI journey, and we also would like to wish you to achieve the strongest ROI possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.